often ask me what should you eat, and that you feel confused, and that it's actually confusing to combine all the food, and that you don't want to do the shopping and cooking. So let me just say this. You don't need to do any complicated recipes. You can have meals ready in 5 to 10 minutes. What you will most probably have to do is spend at least one half a day, let's say Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening or Sunday morning, whatever it is for you, to prepare the meals for the whole week. Yeah, mostly to cut the vegetable. And in this series of like 6 videos, 15-minute videos, I share with you pictures from my mobile phone, what I either got from my clients or what I eat. And remember, if you should follow only 2 to 3 rules. Rule number 1, have protein with every meal, at least 20 grams of protein. If you had private sessions with me, you most probably got already some advice from me, and I probably personalized it, whether you are vegan, vegetarian. I made a calculation for you what 20 grams of protein looks like, and how much of the protein for your body weight and for your lifestyle you should have. So you have it. If you are in any group course, you are getting a general advice. And if you are joining the course, you can ask me something. But group course means group, right? It's not personalized. But let me now, without further ado, share the screen. So first, I uploaded pictures from my mobile phone, and I will comment on all of them. So 80-20 rule, that's what I promote, which means that we are not completely strict. 80% of the time during the week, or even every single day, you eat a super healthy food, and then you have 20% or something that you eat as an emotional eating that satisfies you because you want something sweet. So for example, I made a poppy cake with fruit because there was the fruit season and I was collecting it. Was it in August or September? So I picked in the nature some plums and some apricots. And poppy is high in protein and very high in calcium. There is also buckwheat and most probably just eggs. And that's it, right? I make like everything really easy. Even just now, before I made this video for you, I decided to make a cake. So I grated an apple, mixed it with half cup of buckwheat flour. I put there soda bicarbonate, so just the natural one, natrium bicarbonate, and 2 eggs and psyllium husk. And I mixed all of this together. There was this juice from the apple, and I put there cinnamon, and I baked it in the oven. Yes, it was dry because I did not put there the MCT oil. Normally, I would put there the MCT oil, but then I baked separately the apples, and I put the apples on top of it, and it was quite a large cake. I thought that I would have it in 4 pieces, but I ate it all. I just ate it completely all. Do I feel guilty about it? No, because it was only buckwheat, which is high in rutin, and yeah, okay, it's a carbohydrate. There were eggs, which is a protein, and there were apples, which is a fiber, and there was a cinnamon, which is anti-inflammatory. So no, I don't feel guilty about it. And it was at 6 o'clock, and now I will go for a walk, and all is good. So you can make cakes, and of course you will make them tastier than I do, and you can enjoy it. So that's 80-20 rule. So this is with the poppy. It's milled poppy. Let me go to the next picture, or let me maybe, because it doesn't allow me to show you the next picture, hopefully I will not have to do them one by one. Let me see. Hopefully it will move. No, it's not moving. So I'll probably have to always close it. Hopefully not. Let me see if I can open them all. Open. So hopefully all of them will open. Okay, the next recipe. Very often I recommend cauliflower, but who is cauliflower good for? Cauliflower is, for example, really good for women who have estrogen dominance, because cauliflower is going to have the substances that help to detoxify the liver and therefore break down the hormone estrogen and remove it, eliminate it from the body. Women that very often suffer from estrogen dominance are perimenopausal women. So let's say that around the age of 40, you might see that there is a change in your menstrual cycle. You might have sore breasts. Suddenly you might have headaches, migraines that you never had before. You are kind of on a roller coaster, and maybe you suffer from constipation. On suddenly you have some like irritation in the body. Your inflammation goes up. Your the cholesterol is going up, and so on. So especially in the first part of the menstrual cycle, you want to eat brassica vegetable. It's in the Eat Clean Get Lean shopping list, so you can look at it. Brassica vegetable, all of them are written in there, and you can also receive the video of how to use brassica vegetable. So cauliflower also belongs to the brassica vegetable, and I tell you how I do it, because of course we don't have time to cook. So when I boil, for example, pasta for my children or rice or whatever I do for them, I have already the water. So I will boil the whole cauliflower or the big florets in the water. I might actually boil it before I put there the pasta, so that all the vitamins go into the water and my kids potentially get it in the pasta as well. But I don't force them to eat cauliflower if they don't want to. So I boil the cauliflower for about like 6 to 10 minutes, and then I take it out and I chop it into small pieces, and then I just like store it in the fridge, and I can use it for whatever. Here I mixed it with mint. So mint is very good, first of all, because it's green. Everything that is green that is high in chlorophyll, and it has lots of antioxidants. And also we know that mint is helping to debloat, and it's calming the intestine, and that's what we want. So combining, let's say, the cauliflower that might bloat you because it has inulin and is like some other high FODMAP food, which means it has carbohydrates that we are not able to break, and we are feeding the bacteria. And if you have bad bacteria in your intestine, it's going to bloat you. If you have good bacteria, it's most probably not going to bloat you, or it's also dose dependent. And surprisingly, cauliflower is quite high in protein. People don't know it. So one floret has 2 to 3 grams of protein. So imagine if you have 3 florets, 9 grams of protein. It's not bad. 20 is the minimum that you need to have in every meal. So let's see, how can I now increase the protein? So I would have to mix into this meal some eggs. So for example, if I add there 2 eggs, so it's 12 grams of protein. So I would get to 22. I also have here avocado. So avocado is high in fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and it's fat, and it's mono unsaturated fat. So it's actually very good for you, right? It's not saturated, mono unsaturated fat. Yes. So it means it's not fully saturated. Saturated means it's hard, like a rock. For example, butter that's saturated, or coconut oil that's saturated. And I always put there apple cider vinegar. So if you have been shopping with me in Alnatura, this is the brand that we were most probably buying together. And why this one? Because this one is unpasteurized, unfiltered. And that's very important, because if it's pasteurized, all the mother culture in it and all the probiotics are killed. So why do we want to add apple cider vinegar into every meal? Or why would you want to, for example, put 1 spoon of apple cider vinegar into the lukewarm water and drink it before you eat? So maybe you know that we have 8 different categories of bloating. And unless you know which category belongs to you, depending on your signs and symptoms, are you bloated like a balloon immediately after eating? Are you bloated after anything that you eat? Do you have a sense of fullness after you eat, like a stone in your stomach? Is your belly bloated on a bottom, on a top? Is it hard as a rock or soft as a balloon? Yeah, so depending like this, you would, with my guidance and with the blood test results, we would uncover to which category you belong. But let's say that you also have a history of H. pylori or stomach acids, belching, right? Heartburn, anything like this, when the sphincters are not closing properly, and bloating. Chances are that you have irritated lining of the stomach, especially if you, for example, drink alcohol or use any medication. And in that case, when the stomach is irritated, you are most probably not producing the digestive enzymes. So if you are not going to digest the food, you are not going to break it down, it always goes to the bacteria. And unfortunately, if the bacteria moved from a large intestine also into the small intestine, you are going to be bloated like a balloon all the time. So this meal wouldn't be probably the best for you. But if you have different kind of bloating, and it's mostly caused by, for example, not having just the acid in the stomach, then apple cider vinegar is going to acidify your intestine and therefore help you to break it down, yeah, because it helps to release the hydrochloric acid in the stomach and therefore break it down. And there's like a pepsin and other hormones. I, in this case, also add olive oil, because fat doesn't make you fat unless you combine it with sugar. And you can add there even cucumber. So let me see if we have another picture. So I'll have to open it one by one. Okay, and this is basically how it can look. So when you prepare the cauliflower, as you saw on a previous picture, it doesn't mean you have to eat all of it immediately. You can cool it down, and it's like in a summer months, for example, it's like a cooling salad. And then you see, I combine it actually with 3 eggs. So 3 eggs, 3 times 6 grams of protein, and even the cauliflower in it. So it's a really sufficient amount, and the avocado. And somebody says, but I need some carbohydrates. Well, cauliflower is also going to have carbohydrates. So in this meal, you have everything. You have carbohydrates from the cauliflower. You have protein from the eggs, and it's 23 amino acids, so really the full range of the protein. And you have the avocado, which is the fat-soluble vitamins with healthy fat. So there is absolutely everything. And you have there even some greenery to alkalize the power of the amino acids, the protein from the eggs. Okay, let's look at the next one. So this is also like very quick. I told you, like, I really don't cook. I just mix things together. So here I have avocado, cucumber, mint. I have there sprouted mung beans, tahini sauce, and feta. So we know, and you can actually see it on this picture, that 100 grams of feta has 18 grams of protein. So half of this package is going to have 18 grams of protein. I add there tahini, which is also like, it's the paste from the sesame seeds. So it's going to be minimum 2-4 grams of protein. And I have there fat in a form of avocado. And I have there another additional protein with live enzymes from the sprouted mung beans. You know, I find sprouted mung beans the fastest way to do. I tried it with atsuki beans. I tried beluga beans. I tried alfalfa sprouts. All those ones turned bad pretty quickly. And mung beans, they're just like so easy. You rinse it in the morning. You let it in this pot for 3 days. Like rinsing it just like once a day is enough, or you can do it twice a day. And then you just eat it. And you store it like in the fridge even for additional 2 days. It's just so super, super easy. Okay, let me see this picture if it's mine. Yes, it's just omelette with halloumi cheese or maybe some idam and tomatoes. So all this I eat for the breakfast because, as you remember, maybe I told you that especially if you are a woman 40 plus, you must start your day with 20 grams of protein. It's absolute must, and I tell you why. Your estrogen levels are already getting on a roller coaster. So sometimes it goes up and sometimes it's terribly low. If you have low levels of estrogen, most probably the follicle in your ovaries is not going to grow and propel, therefore you are not going to have the ovulation. If you don't have an ovulation, you don't have corpus luteum, which is this yellow part that is producing progesterone. So by eating the protein, you are helping your body to basically grow and even grow the follicles, because you will have a hormone growth. It's human growth hormone. Yeah. So protein is an absolute must, and I had it with zucchini. Let's look at this. Okay, so this is also from Alnatura Gomasio, which is basically a mixture of sesame seeds, salt, and seaweed. So seaweed is quite high in iodine, iod, that very often, if you, for example, have sore breast, that's always deficiency of iodine, okay? And if you have any problem with the thyroid, there might be also insufficient amount of iodine. So you can either have it in supplements, which you could have seen in a video when I made it about Lambert's, or you can have it in this form, sprinkle it over the salad. So here I have quite a lot of parsley. I will make it bigger so you can see there is lots of parsley. There is small zucchini, tomatoes, avocado, and minimum 2 eggs. I just always have 2 eggs. The reason for it is that I don't have a habit of eating meat. I don't know for what reason, because I make meat for my kids every single day, like hamburgers, chicken, schnitzels, but I just never eat it. I just live on a fermented cheese from a sheep and on eggs, fish, and seafood. So meat would be actually a really nice option in here, but just never do it. Sugar. This is a big question. Very often I hear women saying, but I avoid normal sugar. Instead of it, I use agave syrup, maple syrup, and honey. But remember, if you are bloated, honey is the worst choice because honey is 60% fructose, which we don't digest and it's causing bloating, and 40% glucose. Therefore, the same sugar molecule like this sugar. So I use either coconut blossom sugar or I use this complete muscovado pure cane sugar. Is it any healthier? Well, for bloating, it's less bloating, and I tell you why. Because our body, in a process of glycolysis, which means glucose breaking, and lysis always means to break, our body knows how to break down glucose. So this sucrose is basically glucose molecules. And because our body has all the detectors for it, there is a high chance that it's going to either store it in the liver, in the muscle, in a like glycogen, and then I'm going to utilize it during the day, but I'm not going to feed the bacteria. So I am not going to be bloated out of this, right? And it's not that I use too much of it. However, if I eat any of the natural sugar that is actually processed like agave syrup, I'm going to be bloated like a balloon because our body doesn't recognize fructose. It's going to feed the bad bacteria or even good bacteria. And yeah, so people use it because they want to lose weight, but then they are bloated. So I rather, if I want to use any sugar, like once a week in a cake, I'm going to use this sugar. And for my children, it will be only this sugar. We don't have any other sugar at home. So you make your own choice. If you want to beat the bloat, this would be probably the only sugar that you want to use, but preferably no sugar, obviously. Oh, this picture we have. Okay, so here is when I was trying to sprout the lentils, yeah, and actually the taste wasn't that great. And you can see this is very easy to sell it. Like somebody says, well, but I don't have time to wash all of this. No, you go to the supermarket, you buy this 100 grams bag, organic. It's in Coop, it's everywhere in France, it's everywhere in Germany. You just put it into the plate, you put there apple cider vinegar, olive oil, you put there avocado, you put there some seeds, which is the source of the enzyme, or like sprouted beans, and you put there some source of protein. What protein you choose, it's up to you. I really recommend eggs. My cholesterol is absolutely perfect, like spotless, one of the best. And I definitely don't have any overweight and I don't have any issues. So believe me, eggs are safe. Let's look at what's on this picture. Yes, here I'm showing you basically the ritual, because people sometimes say, oh, but I just don't have time sprouting mung beans. So if you have watched the video about how to create a system rather than sticking to the goal, so in this video, I was talking about habit stacking. So you can see that on this picture, I'm going to prepare in a French press organic coffee from Ethiopia or Guatemala or Uruguay. Just always use this. And in the morning, I have this coffee. And while I'm waiting for the water to boil, I rinse the seeds. I have it next to it, just so that I cannot skip it. And I also prepare there 2 kiwis, because we know that kiwi actually has the mucins in it, and it has digestive enzymes, and it's helping with the digestion. It is against the bloating, IBS, constipation, and so on. So if the kiwi is in season, I will prepare it already next to it, and I have a big cup of herbal tea that I'm going to drink before I drink the coffee. Yes, it can be water with lemon. If you are still in this wave, it's absolutely brilliant. But if you do it like for 10 years, you sometimes need to make a little break. And then, for example, you do a herbal tea, then you come back to your um, lemon water and so on. Okay, so this is example of a habit stacking of how you can really do it easily. Let's look at another picture. Yeah, so here I have, this is a large amount of protein because I have here, this is salmon. It's about like 120 grams of salmon, so it's maybe even 30 grams of protein because this is dehydrated. Pumpkin seeds, maybe 1 or 2 handfuls. So it's at least 6 to 8 grams of protein. And I have there a big piece of feta, which is the fermented sheep cheese, and then different vegetables. So protein and fat. So we have there fat in feta. We have there some fat in the pumpkin seeds, and we have there quite a lot of fat in the salmon. And we know that fat and protein is spiking leptin. It's the satiety hormone, right? And we have there, of course, even carbohydrates in a form of vegetable. So tomatoes will have carbohydrates, pepper, like everything that grows is just going to have carbohydrates. But if you still love carbohydrates, you could maybe have there some quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat, brown rice, black rice, red rice, and so on. Here is the tortilla that I was telling you about. So that's the beetroot tortilla. It's only beetroot, psyllium husk, lemon, and salt. And I put here vegetable, feta, tahini, dried tomatoes, and some fresh nuts. And then I just roll it. So again, when we look at it, is there enough vegetable? Remember the rule, we need to have 20 grams of protein and we need to have at least 3 portions of vegetable in everything that we eat. So the tortilla on its own is already vegetable because it's only the beetroot and the fiber. Then we have the dried tomatoes and we have there at least 2 handfuls of the green leafy vegetable. So let's say that this would nicely cover the portion. And don't worry, I don't have only 1 tortilla. I actually have 2 tortillas. So I have double amount of this, and it's very satisfying because it's even kind of like sweet and really fulfilling. Okay, here I was in my office in Basel, and I bought this NeuroBalance tea. I bought it in Coop. Coop or Migro? No, I don't remember if it was Coop or Migro. Or Alnatura. Maybe it was Alnatura because near my office there is also the Alnatura. Anyway, this company Salus, I usually buy it in Alnatura and it's absolutely amazing. It's actually really calming, calming the nerves. Like I don't need it, but it's a brilliant tea. So I highly recommend. This picture I showed maybe already in some of the other videos, and you can test yourself. So how much of the protein do you think I have in here? So you see X. Is it 2X or 3X? I actually think it was 2X. And then I have here 3, 6, 7, 8 prawns. So these crevettes are actually really high in proteins, maybe even 18 grams of protein just in this. And 2X is 12, right? So you can see that this is a massive bomb of protein. And I actually had it as a brunch. And why do I have the radishes? So first of all, it's only water. And basically minerals. So it's potassium, sodium is not there, so it's potassium, magnesium will be there. Sulfur is actually in there. That's why the urine is quite stinky when you eat radishes. It adds this extra crunch. And then I have there really lots of parsley. So the parsley, you can see it's also almost raw. I added there only at the end. And parsley is really high in magnesium, zinc, calcium, and it's also helping against the stinky breath and any problems that you might have with the gums. And it's this green chlorophyll, so it's absolutely amazing. And you could have it even for dinner. This picture, yeah, so I bought this yogurt in a French market. It's from a farm, And you can see that there is quite a lot of liquid, molke, in it. And I just don't want it so liquidy. So I put there 3 spoons of chia seeds and I mix it. And chia seeds absorb 10 times its size of water. So basically it becomes really like almost like a hard rock. And I put there cinnamon. And then you can add there like any nuts, seeds, or a cereal that I'm going to share with you in a little while. So protein-wise, because this is only 250 milligrams and it's yogurt, it will be maximum 10 grams of protein, maximum. But chia seeds, they're actually quite high in protein. So this is not even 40 grams. This will be probably like 20 grams. So there will be maybe like 4 or 5 grams of protein. So 15. So I would have to add there something else to get to 20, which I probably did. Here is the famous recipe for the kürbissuppe. So you can see that I have the red lentils because they are peeled. They're very easy to digest. They don't have the lectins, which is the poison that is normal in there. I put their parsley and I just boil it. And then I put their coconut milk. This recipe you find if you go to my website into the footer. No, actually, you don't have to go to the footer. You go to courses and you can download the free ebook, the 5 biggest weight loss mistakes that you make right now and how to avoid them. And on the last page is this recipe. Now, you tell me if this is healthy. And why do I show you this picture? I just want to show you that when you make, for example, a birthday cake, when I make as a nutritionist birthday cake, I even buy these things. Do I eat it? Well, no. Do you know what I ate? Actually, the cake was really, really delicious. I made it from mascarpone. So as I was cutting it into the shape, I ate the 4 bits of that. And the chocolate that I melted, I was then just like using it. So this is my signature cake. I don't know if I'm going to win a competition for making cakes, but actually my children find it quite entertaining when I create these cakes. So this is a hedgehog made from Cadbury, and it's carrying an apple, and it has even legs, tiny legs under it. Such fun. I did it already like 13 times and still did not improve. Okay, back to our healthy eating. You can see that this is something that I try to implement now. And it's in a season like September, October, or in March, April, because that's twice a year you want to do a detox. You want to detoxify your liver, so the hepatocytes, kidneys, and intestine. And this is highly alkaline. So this is green barley. This is a juice, like one of the best brand. I will show you what I buy. And I might actually even order it for you next time. If you would want, you can get in touch with me. I ordered it through my friend who is living on this for like 20 years. So green barley is highly alkalizing, and you can also take spirulina, chlorella, anything you find. The taste is not brilliant. You get used to that, and you can see that I mix it even with some supplements. So that can be like idea for you. What else we have here? Okay, so this is like one of the variety. You can see that I have fresh spinach. So I have grated zucchini, 2 eggs, Parmigiano Reggiano, which is fermented aged cheese, really high in protein and actually really good lactobacillus. And I add there at the end maybe 2 handfuls of spinach. It actually is melting really quickly, and the volume is not so big. So that's another example of breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever it would be for you. And here I was showing, here I have, for example, the pumpkin soup. That's how I pack it when I go to the office. Here I have some pumpkin seeds, corn, radishes, salad. And when I'm steaming the vegetable, I'm also using bone broth, because bone broth is made, it's boiled for like 48 hours from the bones of the animals. This is from the chicken, and then all the collagen that is in the bone marrow and in the joints is released into the liquid, and it's very healing because it's high in glutamine, and glutamine is an amino acid that is actually helping to build a strong wall of the intestine. So all the 6 meters long intestinal wall is then held intact. Yeah. So I mix it into the vegetable when I do it. Right? If you put there a lot, you will have like a soup out of it. And if you put just a little bit, you just steam it in it. This was kind of a snack when we talk about vegetables. So this is 1, 2, 3 portions of vegetable handfuls. And this is cheese. So it's 200 grams of goat cheese. And it's about 20 grams of protein. Yeah. So it was meant to be as a snack, and at the end it was like even my dinner. So then I decided not to eat. And I told you about crowd farming, and I'm going to actually in a separate video share with you what I buy, why I buy it, and what you can use it for. This was actually hemp seeds. Let's look at this picture. You can see that like in my life, everything is nearly the same. It's just a variety of different green leafy vegetable. This one was, I think, from Coop, or no, actually from Migros. Alnatura Migros in Basel. I bought this organic mix, and I ordered from crowd farming these dried tomatoes, which I will show you. And then I have this Parmigiano Reggiano, and I have there just all the vegetable. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same, but you can see that every meal is done in 2 minutes because it's just putting things together. Here is the green barley that I told you about. So I actually ordered 4 packages, and that's the company. So you can either Google it, and if you would want the discount like I do it, then you can ask me. What else do we have here? Yes, I received this. So if you are my private client, and if I still have some at home, I will be very happy to share for free with you some of them. I actually got them for free. It was a company that approached me because this is like low carbohydrate. It's actually the konjac noodles. And sometimes people, when they are starting the diet, they are missing like these Chinese noodles or rice or something because they like Asian food. And this company makes it from konjac, so it has like no calories. It was popular even in Dukan diet, maybe you remember 10 years ago. I think I tried it only once, maybe 10 years ago. And since they sent this to me, I already have it for like 1 week at home, and I did not try it because I don't have the habit. So I will be most probably going to give it away to my clients who want to try it. And yes, when I was in Alnatura, normally I don't buy cereal, but I was thinking, when I have clients and they tell me that for 20 years they have been eating cereal and they just love the crunch, I found this one. So it's Buchweizen flakes. So it's from buckwheat, Grande Saraceno, and you can see that it's ungesüßt, so there is no sugar added. So it's really only 99.8% of buckwheat, and then there is a sea salt. So I thought that this is actually a pretty good gluten-free product, and I bought it in Alnatura in Basel, and I actually ate it this morning in between meetings in the yogurt with chia seeds. And it tasted pretty good. So really good crunch. So if you ever feel like to have buckwheat cereal, then this could be a good choice. This picture I received from one of my clients. He was asking whether it's good. And when I reviewed it, it was actually good. The only thing that I want to say is that if you have irritation in your intestine, you don't want to eat seeds like this. And why? Because remember that intestinal wall is only 1 cell thick. So it's actually very, very thin and fragile. And when they are roasting in the oven on a really high temperature, these seeds, they become really hard and sharp. And if you don't have mucus around it, that would protect you. They are going to cut, and they can make holes in your intestine and cause this like bleeding, inflammation, irritation, bloating, inflammation in the intestine. Remember that near the intestine, we have 70% of the immune cells. They are immediately going to react to it. And they're going to try to fix it. So they create even more inflammation. Every time when there is inflammation, color, like when it's hot, and dolor, when there is a pain, you are going to be tired. So if you eat something like this thinking that it's healthy, but you have irritated intestine, you are actually making it worse. So that's why I wouldn't recommend it to somebody who has really sensitive digestion. Yeah. Voila, what's this? That's a schnitzel. Who ate this schnitzel? I actually ate one of them. Normally I don't eat it, but when I made it, I just ate one. And again, this is 80-20 rule. Do I recommend making schnitzels and eating it every single day? Of course not. But if once a month, your children or your partner or your loved ones love schnitzel, let's say, what's bad on it? So depending on which oil you do it. So I, for example, make it either in a ghee butter, right? So that's the clarified butter, or I make it in an MCT oil, the cover, so flour. I'm using buckwheat flour, then I'm using organic eggs, and then I actually make my own crumble. So yeah, it's a fried product, but in a good oil. It's a chicken, organic chicken. So in the end, it's not so bad. So yeah, if you ever want to feel like having schnitzel. Okay, what do we have here? It's the beetroot tortilla. You can buy it in Alnatura in Basel. You can buy it in Germany. You can buy it in shops online. You can buy it everywhere. And this, I just want to show you the last picture that I uploaded. And that's how my wonderful client, I don't want to tell her name, but she is really, 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 really diligent. She bought the pillbox that I recommended, which is actually from a company Pillbox, but only with one L. And she prepared all the supplements that we ordered into this. So it's like breakfast, mid-morning, after lunch, and dinner. And it just looks, it looks like scary, but this is therapeutic program for 3 months to improve massively the health. Okay, this was a very long video. I don't actually even know how many minutes it's going to be. And then you will have another 6 much shorter videos that hopefully help you to understand how to combine the food, that it doesn't have to be complicated, that you don't need to make any complicated meals unless you want. So if you are a foodie, watch the videos where I'm actually reviewing a really famous bloggers and how they cook. So it takes like 20-30 minutes of preparation, but amazing meals, right? So choose your option and share with me your aha moments or maybe even pictures of what you have tried, whether you found any inspiration.